What's up, beautiful people? I'd like to be the first to break some things down and put it up on the net because I think it's kind of important that people understand what's going on. First of all, let me just say I just got some, how can I explain this? Special messages from some close, very informed friends. Now, first, I'd like to address the situation with the Pope. Okay, now we all know that the old Pope was accused of a lot of pedophile charges and stuff like this. Well, that shouldn't surprise you people. This Pope was solely responsible for passing the majority of the laws protecting pedophiles and protecting pedophile priests, also protecting himself. They're not going to say anything about it on the news. They'll just say he resigned, but he's getting charged for war crimes. There are individual organizations that are taking it upon themselves to go after them legally, because legally citizens do have rights, because we're sick of the Vatican head honchos and the police protecting these pedophiles and not doing anything to save these kids and to glorifying these men. Now, what people fail to realize is what is beyond me. What is absolutely beyond me, how this Roman Jesuit Nazi organization has the world brainwashed, okay? Let me paint a picture, a really simple picture. You have a priest, say the old Pope, and then you have a picture of this, 5, 6, 7-year-old child, okay? You have this old, sick, twisted Jesuit Nazi man that is proven he passed laws to protect pedophiles, and then you have this kid saying, this man raped me. This kid's not traumatized. This kid's not scared of his family's life. He's not scared of the Vatican superpowers and all their police and military and cops. This kid's not scared of any of that, and his parents haven't been threatened. He just believes in God like he should and wants to speak out against this man. So this is just one kid. And if you were to put something like this on TV, everybody would be outraged and say, oh, that kid's lying, and glorify that Pope. This is the problem with society. These motherfuckers have brainwashed society so bad and so much, and has all these Bible-thumping, uneducated fools so quick to not even think that that is a child. These are children. They have no reason to lie unless they've been coerced or put up to it. But there's so many accusations, so many videos even on YouTube, and so many internet articles about men being molested by priests. When that one priest got caught and he admitted molesting over 100 kids, and the church didn't even go after him. They pardoned him. It's the same Pope, and he admitted it was over 100 kids, he said. They just made him resign as a priest. Since when in society did we stop protecting our kids, the children? When did this happen? And you can clearly see that people and the brainwashing is so deep, they don't even see this fact. They are so quick to write about what the Pope did, this, and there's no proof of this and this. Well, the new pope that is from Argentina, there's accusations of him kidnapping kids for 5 months. Okay? Accusations. Nothing's been proven. Okay, let me tell you why nothing was proven. Because there were accusations, and then probably the people that did it, they were threatened. And for anybody that had any proof of it, they were probably killed or shut up. This is the Vatican. The Vatican law states, and this is even with the Dead Sea Scrolls, people, that was found in our lifetime, anything hidden in the Vatican vault, if you're not part of the 8 high priests, you can't even look at that vault, anything in it. If you get caught looking or known to look at anything in that vault, it's punishable by death. Now, the thing about this is what I want you to understand is who gave these men the absolute right to put anyone to death by looking at scriptures and holy testaments and articles written by the hands of prophets and written about Christ. Who gave this holy order of Nazi Jesuits this order to kill people if they want to know about God? Because we got to go through these 8 pedophile priests to learn about God? What is this? Now, I'm making this video because I'm really pissed off, really outraged, because, you know, I'm getting a lot of stupid so-called Bible-thumping Christians, you know, standing up for the new pope. Well, let me tell you something. It's like this, simply like this. That man is the head of an organization that was pagan in its origins. Okay, the Roman Catholic Church started by Constantine 300 years after he walked. Christ, Yeshua Christ. 300 years after he walked. Constantine was a Hindu pagan. Okay? Constantine incorporated the teachings of the fish with paganism, so he would not lose control of the pagans and the people that followed the fish's word, because he was losing control of his own country because the word of the fish was getting more powerful than him. More powerful than his pagan religion that was in Rome. That was the main religion of the Romans before they created the Roman Catholic Church as we know it. So don't forget, Constantine was a pagan, okay? And then you get into the Nazi Jesuits. Study them. Nazi occultists. Study them. I studied them. I know how they operate. Now, the new pope is from Argentina, okay? Now, for all the people we call, I guess you can call us Nazi hunters, all the people that knew that they were not killed and it wasn't over, and governments, Russian governments, American governments, Argentinian governments took them in and protected them. In America, Operation Paperclip, they brought the Nazis here to Texas, where I'm living. Russia, they put the Nazi scientists in their space program. Thus, they beat the Americans into outer space. Argentina is where the Nazis went because they had already established themselves there after they were kicked out of Germany. And then from Argentina, it was said that they went to Antarctica. From this being probably more than likely really true because Admiral Byrd led the exhibition, shall I say, to Antarctica to capture the Nazis that went, and he was unsuccessful. He was given absolute funding to go to Antarctica to capture the leftover Nazis and their so-called vertical lift machines, their unidentified flying objects that were supposedly on their submarines. If you don't believe me, type in the internet Admiral Byrd. See how much comes up on Admiral Byrd and his exhibition to Antarctica. And how they went from Argentina to Antarctica. Now everybody knows about the Nazis in Argentina and the Argentinian government like opened doors to the Nazis. Now I say Nazi Jesuits because the Jesuits were the people that actually it was the Knights Templars, and after they were dethroned and burned for being Satan worshippers, they turned into the Jesuits and they started to infiltrate the churches and infiltrate masonry organizations, and basically they just took them over. Now you've had a Jesuit pope at the head of the Roman Catholic Church. What is the last 3 or 4 popes? And now this pope comes straight out and says he's a Jesuit. Now, I strongly urge you, uneducated so-called Catholics and Christians, type in the word Jesuit. Type in the word Nazi Jesuit. See how much information comes up. Please read. If you don't feel like reading, watch some videos on YouTube. Watch educated people that actually took the time to put together an hour's worth of information, 20 minutes worth of information, 40 minutes worth of information to educate people on these fucking Nazis, to try to wake them up, to tell you what is going on, because it is not a fucking conspiracy theory. The conspiracy is how dumb and ignorant the world is to this. Because that is a conspiracy to me, how stupid people are, and in their own stupidity, how they're so quick to back these fucking devils. So, when you get into the new pope, let me tell you about the accusation. And legally, I am correct. Because this accusation that the pope kidnapped kids, it makes a lot of sense. I've watched a lot of videos on men talking about the priest and how they were dealt with after they came out and actually talked about what these priests did to them when they were little boys. I'll post one of the videos under this video so you can watch it and see how the Catholic Church deals with priests after men have actually come out and talked about what they did. And actually, this is one video where they came out and actually talked about one specific priest. And I think it's like 5-6 men. Just swept under the rug. They all came together to support each other. And let's do this together, because everybody's going to be against them. So one fact that I want to point out is, okay, this new pope, this new Jesuit Argentinian pope, that he doesn't look Latin. He looks like a freaking pedophile Nazi. I mean, honestly, he does. Okay? He doesn't look Latin. I don't care if they say Argentinian or whatever. We all know the Nazis went to Argentina like way before they were actually kicked out of Germany and established themselves in Argentina. So one specific fact that I'd like to point out, that no lawyers that have pursued these priests have actually pointed out. I'm going to tell you how keen my mind is, because after you hear this and after the lawyers hear this, they're going to go, damn, he's right. And yeah, I know I'm right. I'm very well studied. I hate these evil motherfuckers. And this is about the kids, okay? So for all you that don't think the new pope is guilty, okay, he's the head of an organization where the last pope put out laws so they could not be prosecuted or executed in court, especially if they're a Roman Catholic priest. I mean, how can you actually make laws protecting men that rape kids? But this is what the last pope did in actuality. This is a fact. So factually, he is actually admitting that the Roman Catholic organization condones priests that rape kids. He actually passed laws to protect them, to protect himself. Fact. So within this fact, and within these laws that the Roman Catholic Church and all the clergy accepted and pardoned all those priests that molested and molest kids, okay? By this fact, any kid that they took into their church, any kid that they took into their room, I don't care if it's 5 minutes or an hour, technically and legally, it can be considered kidnapping. Think about it. Now, let me say this again because I know this is rocking your world. Technically and legally, if you take a kid into your private quarters, especially against his or her will, and it's a kid, it's illegal, come on. And knowing that they would not go with you if you told them what you were going to do, and then you forcefully persuade them and keep them and manipulate them and do what you want to do with them, technically that is kidnapping, that is molestation, that is sexual assault. This is the law, people. So what I'm trying to explain to you is this new pope, there are accusations, and even if they're just accusations that he kidnapped kids, I mean, do you know what this is actually saying? And they said it's kidnapping charges, but the person was actually found after 5 months. So what? Oh, he's a good priest. They kidnapped some kids for 5 months, had their way with them, and sent them on their way. It is the same as taking a kid for 5 minutes, 1 hour. Don't tell anybody, and doing it over and over again, and thinking that, having their parents thinking that they can trust you, and doing this over and over again. It is the same concept, people. But no one has really opened your eyes to make you see through the lies. These are kids we are talking about. These are men that have established an organization which is supposed to be an organization of God and Christ. And they pass laws to protect them from raping kids. Does anyone see a problem with this? And then they put an admitted Jesuit pope at the head of their church that is already accused of kidnapping, and he is the head of an organization that actually has a track record for protecting men that rape kids. Not to mention he's from Argentina, and this is where the Nazi second home was besides Germany, because it was a great stopping spot to Antarctica. And also an easy way to get into the Latin countries and back into America. Secretly, Argentina. So, I'm sorry, but I'm not stupid. And if it looks like a duck, if it smells like a duck, if it walks like a duck, and especially if it fucking looks like a duck, it must be a duck. Now, I would like to give my little bit of information because this is heavy and a lot of heads are about to roll. This is going out to the Illuminati and all the Freemasons that have made all that money overseas, blowing up shit, killing innocent people, snatching their, jewels and prize crown jewels, and just going up and blowing up libraries and taking all their shit under the name of terrorists, and Al-Qaeda did this and Al-Qaeda did that. There is a strong movement within the military, which are ex-military guys, which you know which ones I'm talking about, the ones you can't find, the ones you said there are court-martials on and this and this and this. Well, those men, they're all together and they've been hacking into your shit. Now, from a disclosed source, I'm going to tell you this. All your relocated bullshit, sellout, pedophile, drug dealing, gangster killing motherfuckers that got down with you and that were actually being looked for by many of people, whether they stole kids, whether they dealt drugs or killed people or fucked some big mafioso, real mafioso, not some Rothschild mafioso, some real big guys that they fucked over. Guess what? Y'all done had like 12, 13 years to have your fun. Well, those files have been hacked. Those private CIA, FBI, relocatee files that you have so many of them in Texas, a lot of them in this neighborhood and in this house. And I ain't one of them. We all know who I'm talking about. And all the other motherfuckers that you have protected, so-called, with the Freemason organizations or protected by the CIA. Well, all of these people are ganging up. And soon enough, there's just going to be... Oh, gosh. It's not even going to be a war, because a war would imply that the opposing side had a chance. Nazi Jesuits, fucking Illuminati, Freemasons, you don't have a chance. This ain't gonna be a war. It's just going to be a clean fucking sweep, because the people that I'm talking about and the things that they did, I mean, child rapists, men that fucking snatch children with women, I mean, everybody has just gotten a nice little email or a nice little envelope put on their door telling them specifically who this person and this person is in their house or their neighbor or across the street. And don't worry, the person that's actually been looking for them for a very long time was notified before you. And this is what they did. And the person that actually, in the organization that's actually been looking for them, I don't care if they had plastic surgery, they know everything, because the CIA likes to keep track and keep records of everything. Ain't that right, FBI? Federal buttholes of investigation. So you've had 13 years with your fake Muslims, with your fake Christians, to kill how many people? To rape how many kids? And just sweep it under the rug. And every single one of you that swept it under the rug gonna get what's coming to you real soon. So that's why I'm doing this video. And it's a beautiful day. But I gotta say, fuck the Pope. Learn about Yeshua. I'm a strong believer in Christ. It took me a long time to figure out Why ain't nobody walking over on water like Christ? Why ain't anybody healing anybody like Christ? Why hasn't any man or woman come and shown like 80% of the power of Christ? What happened? Took me a long time to figure this out. I mean, scientifically speaking, factually speaking, no pope, no Hindu priest or follower, whatever the fuck you call them, Swami, no yogi, no fucking Nazi occultist bullshit Jesuit, no Illuminati, no fucking Freemason has done anything that Christ did, that the fish did, that he did. Why? Well, it's written in his words. I'm going to give you 2 examples. He never did anything in secret. But the Vatican and everything about them is a big secret. Freemasons, Nazi Jesuits, those fucking witches, everything about them is a big secret. You know why Yeshua never did anything in secret? Because he was the greatest teacher. I'm a DJ. I'm a turntablist. Okay? I'm going to give you a good example of what Kubert said. How the Scratch Pickles took the secrecy out of DJing. Because at a time, everyone would cover their labels and wouldn't want anybody to know what they were playing. And this and this and this. And then the Scratch Pickles came along and said, no, we want everybody to know what we're doing. Because we want to make everybody better than us. If they can do this, if they can teach us something and turn around and come back and say, oh, I learned this from you, and this is what I can do with it, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's dope. And then I go back and learn, and then they learn from me, and then it's like a continuing cycle of us learning and evolving. This is what Christ wanted. This was the essence of his teachings. But the hands of man have lied to us constantly, has hidden his words from us constantly. Even there are priests, good priests, that saw what was going on in the church and left the church. I've watched many videos by them. I've read many books by them. Men that were with the church for 30 years in the high clergy. And even they saw what was going on and had many questions like, even Christ said, if you follow my word, you will become more than I. Why would he want this? Because, hey, he would tell his disciples, do what I do. And you will be able to do what I do. And then within that, we learn from each other and we become something that is beyond comprehension. There is no man or woman on the face of the earth that has actually done what he did. There's plenty of people that say, yeah, this and this and this. Chances are they got a lot of fake people around them and paid this person to do this or to say this. So understand that the Roman Catholic Church has single-handedly scoured the world with the Nazis, which were after the Holy Grail, because they actually believed the Grail, the Holy Grail of the blood, was actually sacred. Okay, well, the funny thing is how these Nazis can be so fucking stupid. If they hunted the world for the Holy Grail, which they believe was a sacred chalice that held the blood of Jesus, because the Nazis are all about the pure blood and the superior blood, and they bred all these blonde-haired, blue-eyed men and women to get this Superman, to get a super soldier. And they thought if they drank the blood of Christ, they would become the ultimate divine being. This Superman. Well, Nazis, where are your super soldiers? Where's your supermen? Did you find the Holy Grail? Did you drink the blood of Jesus, vampires? Well, let me tell you something which is so like mind-boggling. It's an absolute conspiracy to me how these motherfuckers can be so stupid. Now you're telling me throughout the whole Nazi Jesuit occupation of them revamping and retooling Hinduism and Judaism and Christianity with all their Luciferian rituals that they practice and all of their runes. If you don't know what a rune is, it's a symbol, all the symbols that they wore on their jackets and outfits, and actually runes are stones marked with symbols that you actually throw, and they're supposed to tell you something. Witches use runes, and the Nazis use runes, and they put them on their suits. So anyway, you're telling me one of your stupid, inbred Nazi scientists couldn't figure this one fact out. Out of your whole crusade for the Holy Grail, the so-called sacred cup, or Jesus is your guy. He's fake. Yeshua is the real guy. So no one told you that Yeshua was a Hebrew? That you were actually searching for the blood of a Hebrew? You were actually searching for the blood of a Afro man? An original Hebrew? Because the first Hebrews were black, were Afro, were dark skinned, descendants from Nubians and Africans. I mean, in the Bible, in the King James Bible, he had hair of wool and feet of bronze. What color is bronze? It sure ain't tan, blonde hair, and blue eyes. So, in all actuality, the Nazis were searching for a cup that held the blood of an African or an Afro man. And they're supposed to be so racist. And that Hitler himself was actually a Jew. Hitler himself was actually a Rothschild, which are Ananazi, the so-called superior Jews that executed the so-called inferior Jews. What you actually had was the bloodlines of Cain and Abel warring again. The Anunnaki is the bloodlines of Cain, the albinos, the ones that went and lived in the cold, the outcast, no pigment, Cain, the first killer, the one that killed Abel. That's who they glorify, the first killer of the world. Canaanites. When he came into his father's land after being gone for a very long time, no one recognized him, and he went into the synagogue, and it was filled with Canaanites selling women and gambling. And he said, "Out with you, you cesspool of vipers. How dare you make my father's place of worship a place of prostitution and gambling?" Yeshua Christ said this. And even the Ananazi Jews, the Jews in Israel, still don't believe he was, the anointed one, the Christ. Why? Because they know the first Christ, the man, he had brown skin. The blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus Christ is fake. And even in that Bible it says, "Thou shalt not worship false idols." But you do. They get you to. Just like the Nazi Jesuits took over the church, Now they got you worshiping their fake Jesus. Because let me tell you something about Jesus. There was no Jesus. That's what the Mexicans call him. And they call him correctly because there was no J in pronunciation. J came from the Europeans. So there was no J in pronunciation when Yeshua walked the earth. So understand the lies that they tell you every day and in all your houses, mostly when you go in and look at your fake picture of Jesus. Understand that you're calling God's Son out of his name. His name is Yeshua. He died Yeshua. He was born a Hebrew. He died a Hebrew. He died fighting the Constantine Hindu pagans. That's who crucified him. They continued to crucify many, many people after they crucified him. The crucifixion was what the Romans did to install fear into the people and the hearts of the conquered territory and cities. They continued to crucify people for 300 years after he walked. His sign was the fish, not the crucifix. They followed the teachings of the fish, not the teachings of the crucifix. If you want to study, if you want to read, please, so-called Christians, read. Do your research in the difference between the crucifix and the cross. Why don't you go and stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself and you will see the divinity in you because God made you perfect. How? Because the cross is the celebration and the unification of the vertical and the horizontal. Now what I mean is the unification of the perfect being. You are vertically perfect. You are horizontally perfect. Now if you will go and stand straight in front of a mirror and then put your right arm out with your hand facing up, put your left arm out with your hand facing up and stand straight and look up. What do? What are you forming? A cross. You were made the cross. The cross is the celebration of the vertical and the horizontal, the perfection of you. This is how God made you. Then they took God's Son, Yeshua, and put him on a cross and crucified him on a cross. And then, boom, here's the crucifix. Worship it. The cross is much, 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 much older than the crucifix. The crucifix didn't come about being worshipped until Constantine the pagan said, "This is our sign." His blood was never meant to be spilled. That is God's Son. That's Christ. He is the most lied about man on the face of this earth, and the Pope and his organization hide behind the lies of Christ and they rape kids. Bottom line. Fact. If they didn't hide behind the truth about Christ, they wouldn't have a Vatican vault, would they? Hiding all the scrolls gathered up from all over the world talking about the real Yeshua Christ. The so-called Jews that say, "Oh, he's not our Christ. Our Christ hasn't come yet." Well, hello Jews, you worship the Star of David. It's a fucking pentagram. You also call the pentagram, the Star of David, when you say it's the Star of David, you say it represents Jesus, the morning star. Well, in actuality, now that I think about it, yeah, okay, it does make sense because Jesus, when you say Jesus, that is the anti-Christ. When you say Yeshua, that is Christ. So also in paganism, you call the pentagram the sign for the morning star. Just like in Christianity, the Christians for Jews or Jews for Christians that actually, give the Star of David, the pentagram, some validity, they actually also call it the morning star. So how can you have a star and a pentagram that look like each other, and then you have the so-called Christians calling the Star of David the morning star, but then the pagans still calling it the morning star, the sign for Lucifer, the light bringer? Simple. In the Bible, it says the beast was allowed to enter God's church for 1,000 years to tempt God's people away from thee. Here you go, people. Can you see it now? So I've studied a lot of things, and I guess the recording of this is an accumulation of my studies, and I hope and I pray, my kids will listen to this, because I haven't heard anyone put it together like this and expose what I have like this. Because I was chosen in Romania, I was chosen in France to deliver certain messages to specific people that refused to listen because I didn't fear them. I don't care if they do pray to the Baphomet. You have met your match. So it's as simple as this. This shit in Houston, Texas, Freemason, Luciferian, fucking bullshit, Jesuit, Ananiasi, fucking Nazi motherfuckers. It's coming to an end real soon. I promise all of you, whether you're black, Mexican, Jew, what the fuck ever, Muslim, Arabs, Hindus, you all sold out with the fucking Nazis. Everyone in that organization, there's a faction of it that was infiltrated, and the shit was changed by the fucking Luciferian, Freemason, Ananiasi, Nazi organization. Period. And the Pope now, come on, people. And then the Queen of England, she's British, German descent. She's been proven not even to be the real royal legal queen. 9/11, they did it. The British covered it up, and they continued to kill millions of women and kids while robbing countries fucking blind. And while burning their books, keeping them away from the internet, telling them what education is, re-educating them with bullshit Nazi Luciferian lies. I strongly urge you to watch the videos that I post under this to get educated. Read the links that I post. Read the pictures that I'm going to post under this, because it's an accumulation of someone, namely me, that refuses to bow down to this wicked shit, because at the end of the day, people, it's about your soul. And even more than that, it's about the kids. If you ever had a nephew, a sister, a little brother, if you ever saw a kid that you thought was just cute, if you care about kids and our future, do something. Make a video, write an article, study, read, get educated, quit calling the conspiracy theorists nuts. Because you have no idea what they've done to us, my family, the people that I love, because we refuse to bow down to these fucking devils. That is all it's about. And they've had us in their scopes since we were kids. Because there is something special about our generation. They call us Generation X. They want to X us out. This is why I started X-Formers. To X-form the public. To transform the public with the X. You will not extinguish us. You will not X us out. The children of the light are here. There is nothing you can do. The truth will come out just as sure as there is a God. Just as sure as there was a Christ. Just as sure as all the lies being told to protect these men that profit off the backs of the innocent women and children. Any man, any woman responsible for turning their head and looking the other way and not taking time to get educated and come home after work, and what do? Boom! Turn on that TV and fill in your head with all that Nazi Luciferian shit. It's your choice. You will be held accountable for all that you do when the rapture comes. You have been warned, each and every one of you. Listening to Beyonce, the bitch wear a Baphomet ring. All you motherfuckers listening to Jay-Z. What, you never played any of his music backwards? You haven't seen any of the videos where he's talking about murder, 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 Jesus 666 bullshit? And then when people try to tell you, what, this person, this singer, Justin Timberlake, that's a given. Jay-Z, that's a given. All of them sold their souls to the devil. Why? For money, power, and punani. Because they thought these Nazis were gonna win. They thought that they were going to be the ruling elite. And they were for a few years. Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, all of them going down. Don't be surprised this big wave of, information starts coming out and people just start taking them down. There ain't no place they can go that's safe for them. This is what's about to happen, people. These motherfuckers are evil. And people are waking up to the fact of what they've done to the general public. And then you got all these stupid motherfuckers to get their back. Because what? You like listening to their evil shit? You like dancing in the club to their evil shit? Or what, you a DJ? You like playing that evil shit? You're going to go down with them. Because you had a choice. And your choice was to give into it. To love it. To drink it up. Here's a Coke and a smile. But you're too stupid to go on the internet and see that Coke is a Nazi fucking company. And Pepsi is putting fucking regurgitated DNA of aborted fetuses in Pepsi. They're being sued for it for millions. What, you don't know about that? You don't know about Heck 23? Well, it's your own fault for being so fucking stupid. Because you choose. Nobody chose for me to know what I know. I chose for me to know what I know. I chose to not take this bullshit of these fucking priests I just sick of hearing it. Kids and kids and kids and kidnapping and kids. These are supposed to be men of God. This has been going on rapidly for the last 10, 15 years. It's been oozing out like fucking water. And everybody's still standing behind these priests. When did it become okay for a man to say I'm a priest and it's okay for me to have sex with a young boy or molest a child? This is the status quo of the world and the church right now. The head of the church, the Pope that just resigned, he's proof of that. This new Pope that just got accused, accusations of kidnapping, it's in the LA Times. This is proof of that. So the child welfare organization, the one that keeps track of these pedophiles, did a survey and they said there were only 2 priests that were okay to become Pope, and the Pope that was elected wasn't one of them. What does this say about that organization, people? Well, look at where it started. The man that started it was a fucking pagan. The man that started it was the leader of Rome. Rome practiced orgies, people. Rome was notorious for its politicians being homosexuals, having their way with kids. This is something that Constantine did not give up. He just started the Roman Catholic Church and sprinkled a little of Yeshua's teachings over the paganism, but it's always been there. And people refuse to see the truth. Because you got a few good men and a few good women that really want to believe in Christ. But at the heart of it, look at the beast. In the Bible it says he had 1,000 years. What did he do? He lied to you. See it for what it is. Get over it. Do something. Educate your friends. Get together. Talk about it. If something ain't sitting right with you, read. Learn. Form your own hypothesis. You never know where a great mind will end up and who will find you to back you up and to listen to you and to give you proof. If you search for Christ, if you search for God, you will find it. Trust me. My girl, love of my life, Romanian, was taken by the female cartel. Why? Because I searched for God. Because I searched for truth. Because I was an environmentalist and I did everything that I could in my power to educate people and to protect Earth. Because of who I was born into being. Because I'm actually related to the people that got out of jail under apprenticeships to build up the slave trade in the United States. They were royal English, true bloods, not German British. That were the real English true bloods that came over to the United States to start the slave trade, and they couldn't keep their hands off the Nubian Moors, the Indians, and they mixed in with my people. So my people are English, my people are French, Haitian, Jamaican, Nubian Moors. So within this mix, I got a little bit of everything in me, and these Nazis knew this. Because simply, they're Superman. Scientifically speaking, you stupid fucking Nazis. And your bullshit eugenics and your superior white race is a lie. Scientifically speaking, if you have blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, guy, especially Germans, and their third or fourth or fifth fucking cousin, the kid's gonna end up stupider, dumber, uglier, inbreeding. Scientifically proven. But if you got me, say you sprinkle a little French, a little English, a little Indian Blackfoot, a little Nubian Moor, a little Haitian, Jamaican, you sprinkle a little bit of all that in, and what? You get me. You get your Superman, the thing that you try to kill, the thing that you hate. But hey, you'll take in Jay-Z. You'll take in Beyonce. But you won't take in me because I told you no. 2 times in America, once here, once in California, twice in Romania. I said no to all of your Freemason organizations to join them, to get on your Republican list of artists that is exclusive, where your art and your music gets shown to all the Nazi Republicans and you get an exclusive ride to the top. Well, my friend Mr. Treadway signed that list. And gee, he was the head of the Olympics graphics team. So that's what you get for the sellouts, okay? But I'm broke. I still got a fucked up arm. And you still got your fucking Nazis all around me and in my house. All your shit gonna get blown out really quick. And I will have everything that I was supposed to have and sit back and be happy with my lady. So thank you for your time. Get educated. Don't fall for bullshit. Fuck the new pope. Fuck the old pope. Fuck anybody that's going to cover up for anybody that, oh my, I mean, in God's name. Cover up the fact that they molest kids, that they kill kids. These are kids. How can anyone hurt a kid? And then the TV won't even say anything about it. And you got all of this stuff on the net accusing the Queen, accusing the Pope, and all of their organizations. These are kids. Children. Helpless, defenseless children. How can anyone hide this fact and cover the backs of these evil men for money? Because this is exactly what everyone is doing. I don't give a fuck who you are, if you're TV, newspaper, radio, especially if you're Jay-Z, Kanye West, Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, fucking any star that has an ounce of fucking dignity and half of a goddamn mind. You can see what's going on, and you know. If you're in Hollywood, I mean, come on. If you're making a million picture, you're down with the fucking Freemasons, and you're just too afraid to talk. What, you afraid they're gonna Charlie Sheen you? They took away his kids. They said he was insane. They took away his TV show that was at the top of television. He didn't give a fuck. He still spoke. Keep it real. Because if you don't, and if you are up there, and if you making money, and you being silent, I hate to be you. Just, it's the truth. Peace.